Good morning, friends. Welcome back to another video. It's me, Adrianne, and today we're going to be working in a different part of the garden than normal. We're going to be working on is it the east side of our house? I honestly cannot remember right now. Sorry. We had a whole little shenanigan with a dog in the neighborhood that got loose, so I'm kind of a little bit like, ugh. But anyway, we're going to be doing some transplanting of some perennials over to that sunnier location of the garden space. And I thought I'd take you guys along with me, and we may be planting. We might, if I have time, get to planting up some evergreen interest in the garden space as well. You can see it's a busy day, so let's get into it. All right, you guys, this is the area where we are going to be taking quite a few perennials out. And the main reason is because I want to add some structure to this flower bed. To me, it's a little willy-nilly. Now, everybody in the neighborhood seems to really enjoy what we have been doing out here, but to me, it just needs a little bit more structure. My husband loves those Nandinas. Unfortunately, I do not because they are evergreen. However, they don't add structure to the bed, and I really want some evergreens in here in the way of boxwoods. I would like to have some boxwoods come all the way along the front right here and stop right where my millennium alliums are. And that way it just kind of holds all those hydrangeas in there. Those are little lime hydrangeas, by the way. And then there's also a peony right in there that's kind of getting swallowed up by the little limes. And then you can see right below that are my banana cream daisies that we are going to be transplanting today. So, and there's a carpet here. It's kind of out of bloom right now, and it's probably because it needs to be fertilized. Those perennialize for me. That is a verbena called Violet Ice. But if I have to sacrifice it for the project, I am willing to do so. They're a dime a dozen. You can go buy them. I can buy them again. It's not a big deal. Here is where I'm thinking of planting the daisies on the other side of this gara here. And this leads to the back flower bed. So here's the hibiscus that I transplanted. I think I mentioned it in a previous video where I dug up a baptisia and a hibiscus, and the baptisia didn't make it. They just don't do very well with transplant because of their long tap roots, but the hibiscus did. This is a very awesome, this is a summerific hibiscus by Proven Winners, and she's doing great. Has lots of buds, and there is one right back there that is just about ready to open up. Now, I am noticing some oddities here, and it may just be because I did transplant it, but I don't know. This looks, maybe they're just fresh. It looks a little weird to me. She was probably twice this size last year, but because I had to transplant it this year, obviously I didn't get all of its root system out. To me, this is an amazing size considering that I transplanted her right as new growth was starting to emerge. I think she'll like it better over here on this side of the yard too because it's a little less windy, and I've already noticed that she's not being beat down by the rain that we've been having. And coupled with the wind, normally it would be really splayed open, and I'd have to kind of stake it together. So far so good. I do have to get in here and mulch. We got some inkberry hollies, which are evergreen for me. I want to keep these in spear shapes. I don't want them to grow into a hedge. I just want them to grow into their nice little tidy shape. I do have a tag on this one, and I can't remember the stats. So let me take a look real quick. But it's a strong box. It's a dwarf inkberry. So perfect size, 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, which is exactly what I want it to do. And I think it's Hardy Zones 5 through 9 is what that tag said. So this one had a little accident last year where it's one of its main branches got knocked off during a storm. So I see another little one trying to grow up right there. So that's impressive. And then I have my Annick Rose back here. You guys, I've been on the hunt for more Annick Roses. They're just sold out. So, but I thought of planting the daisies somewhere around in here. I think would be pretty. That is a Pearl Glam beautyberry bush. So I was thinking right along in that area would be really pretty. Or maybe even right alongside the geraniums here would be really pretty. I just know that that geranium's going to need some room because they get relatively large. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get those dug up and we will plop them somewhere back here in the landscape. And real quick, look what's blooming. So I think that I keep calling this thing Primal Scream. It's not. It's Ruby Spider. And I've said Primal Scream probably like 20 bazillion times. But it is heavily budded. You guys, this thing was massive when I bought it last year. Honestly, I probably could divide it at this point. But I can't really think of anywhere else that I want it in the garden space because I don't do a lot of reds. But it was really beautiful when I saw it, and I really couldn't pass it up. So here she lives, and I'm just going to keep it right here for right now. All right, let's go dig some plants up. Alright, guys, here are the evergreens of choice that we are going to be implementing in this garden space today. These are distillium, and distillium I feel like is a very underutilized evergreen, probably for numerous reasons. Mainly it has a very narrow window in which you can actually grow these things. The vast majority of distilliums that I have seen are only hardy zones 7 through 9, so that's a pretty narrow margin, honestly. But if you live in those zones and you have not gotten your hands on distillium, I don't know what you are waiting on. You are sleeping on distillium, you guys. They are beautiful. Like I said, they're evergreen. They have a very unique growth habit to them, in which they are a little bit, they tend to be a little bit more short and a little bit more wide, like a little teapot, short and stout. But I love their growth habits. They're very much V-shaped, as you can see with the growth on some of these already. I think these are like 3-gallon size containers. They are pretty vigorous growers as well. These right here in particular, this variety is called Blue Cascade, and you can probably tell why. The Blue Cascade has a really beautiful blue-green tinge to it, and their new growth is a little bit more bronzy. Now there is another one that's called Cast in Bronze that comes out really bronzy and red, but it's a little bit more brighter green. And I wanted to kind of steer away from the brighter green for the distillium and get this one. Now, there is another variety that I was looking at called Vintage Jade. Oh, it's beautiful as well, and I probably will get it and put it somewhere else in the landscape on another project that I'm working on. So right now we have about 4 of these. Initially I was thinking I needed 5, but in the grand scheme of things I only need about 4 of these. So the stats on these are they get to be roughly about 3 feet tall and about 4 to 5 feet wide. All right, so the area that I have in mind is right here in the curve of our flower bed. Now this flower bed is definitely not symmetrical, and I need to honestly come in and clean up a little bit of its edges. But this is the area that we are going to be putting this distillium in today. It's right here in the front curve. I think that the low, wide, wispy growth habit of the distillium will be really pretty up against this curve. It'll just make it look a little bit softer than it already is. And then I can go behind it and plant some things behind it right here where the forest pansy redbud is. So really beautiful plant. I am not going to be putting anything in the holes of these plants today because I don't think I have anything. I might have some plant tone. Um, If so, you can put some plant tone down in the hole. It'll be perfectly fine. Now, everything that you see back here in pots, we are not going to be planting today, but where they are located is where their homes will be. So we got some hydrangeas. I got plenty of boxwoods to spare. And I have another lilac that's up the hill there. But right now we're just going to, our main focus is going to be getting these distillium in the ground. So let me get you guys set up and we'll get started. Alright guys, and there they are, all four of the distillium. Like I said, they will be evergreen for us here in Georgia. I am in a zone 8A. These are hardy zones 7 through 9. I found this particular variety at our local Home Depot. You can also find them online. They are all over the place, but that is going to do it, you guys, for adding a little bit of evergreen interest to the back flower bed. Obviously we have loads more to do. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in the garden space today in this little short impromptu garden with me video today. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe. It is totally free to do so, and also share it with someone who may have a similar interest, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.